exactly when it is necessary for the fire to pass through. That will be included in the actual general management plan.
The general management plan is to manage the Abaco National Park in a way that we stay to the mission and to the reasons why that park was protected.
Abaco National Park was primarily established to protect the nesting area for the parrots. The parrot needs its nest sites protected as well as feeding habitat throughout the island.
If their feeding grounds aren't protected, then that poses a huge problem for the Bahama parrot.
In years to come, you know, Abaco is an island that's really targeted for development. We would like to get some more land added onto that park.
What I would like to see protected as far as foraging habitat outside of the park is the Coppice Ridge, which is located along the eastern side of Great Abaco. When we did a tracking study of the birds, that's where we found that most of them went to was along this eastern ridge.
The Bahamas is a developing country, and we have to look 50 to 100 years. The conservation work that we do now will benefit for generations to come, because now in South Abaco might become very developed over the next 15 to 20 years. But at least we know that that area of land is protected. You go there and you start to appreciate the work of the trust and why these areas are being protected.
After 66 steps, I'm Matea Cunningham. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. The Public Service Minister responding to the national strike by union leaders. Also, day 2 of teachers not showing up for duty. An education official weighs in. And later, a shooting victim tells his side of the story.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Our quarterly union meetings that was held the week of December 16th, Mr. Ferguson did not attend. He sent his Secretary General, or his first vice, I think, Freddie Munnings.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Bahamas Trade Union Congress, led by Obi Ferguson, has sparked controversy with its announcement of an unlawful national strike. In a candid interview on The Rundown with Clint Watson, Minister of Labor and Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, addressed the reasons behind the strike's illegality and provided clarity on the union's grievances. Our Shalia Roll joins us live in studio with more. Shalia.
Now, Ramiko, the saga continues as the announcement of an unlawful national strike was announced by the leader of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress, Obi Ferguson. 2 questions on everyone's mind: why are the unions striking, and what made the strike unlawful? While the Minister of Labor and Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, says in a candid interview on The Rundown with Clint Watson last night, clarifying why the strike was considered illegal.
Legal to strike. However, the Industrial Relations Act speaks to, in Section 74, it speaks to the process.
Due process.
When due process is eliminated by in some way, then it becomes an illegal action. How did this become an illegal action? If you are prompting a sick call out via voice note, then ultravirus the law, you are now engaging or causing persons to engage in illegal action.
Right, because you're not sick.
So it's not an illegal strike, but by the means by which you attempted to engage your members to sit out, then affected the process.
Upon the news about the strike breaking, Prime Minister Philip Davis released a press statement saying that, according to his diary, a meeting was scheduled between him and Ferguson at 2 p.m. yesterday. The Minister of Labor and Public Service says that the strike came as a shock because the door for communication has always been open between the two parties.
My knowledge, the Prime Minister and he have met on a number of occasions. In fact, the Prime Minister has met with him since prior to seeing me, because our quarterly union meetings that was held the week of December 16th, Mr. Ferguson did not attend. He sent his Secretary General, or his first vice, I think, Freddie Munnings. So he's seen the Prime Minister even since he's seen me, before he's seen me lately. So dialogue is ongoing. The last meeting held with the TUC.
Glover Rule says that the conclusion to the quarterly meetings in December with union leaders ended on a good note, setting timelines to resolve the ongoing matters.
Meet with the minister, the director, the registrar, the labor consultants, and our whole group on the week of December 16th. And we left the meeting with the final word being said that all was well. We know we have matters to resolve. We have set timelines. We know that there are matters to resolve, and this is what is the action plan. But, Minister, we are grateful. We're grateful for this audience and the resolve that has been had so far and the work that is being done.
Narumiko, Glover Rule says since coming to office, the government has signed 53 new industrial agreements, has cleared the backlog when it comes to promotion, confirmation, and other long-standing matters, ruled out the minimum wage increase, among many other achievements. She stands firm that some problems take more time to rectify than others, but her team is working tirelessly to resolve these issues. Coming to you live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Aaliyah. Well, just 2 days of strike action, but the Deputy Director of Education on Grand Bahama says 1 hour makes a huge difference when it comes to educating the nation's youth. For another day, services like education and healthcare are impacted as the TUC and its affiliate unions say they are acting to secure what union members are owed. Cleopatra has a look at the strike's impact on education.
Just 52 students from the 8 Mile Rock High School, 44 at Hugh Campbell Primary, 30 at Grand K All Age, and 47 at the Louise McDonald High School on Bimini showed up for school on the second day of a TUC-led strike that for another day saw significant numbers of teachers and administrators fail to show up for work.
It has negatively impacted Grand Bahama, our schools, and students in particular. Of course, now we're in the second term. And the second term, we have examinations coming up, BJC, BGCSE, national exams, and the GLAT will be in May. And so this is the time when students should be in school.
Deputy Director of Education Michelle Boleg says despite Monday's noon closure and most school campuses being devoid of students, school hours remained as usual, adding there has been no major change in attendance from teachers and administrators from the day before.
We do have some teachers still reporting. We had principals, some principals reported yesterday, as some principals would have, administrators would have reported today as well. However, the numbers are very small.
Teachers and administrators from the more than 800-strong Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union participated in the strike. Among their concerns, teacher placements. Boleg admits there are some issues. Some, she says, have been addressed.
But we also understand some teachers' concern because there are some persons whose confirmation has taken longer than expected, and that goes back to the public service, of course, not so much the Ministry of Education. And so teachers work very hard, our administrators work very hard, and so whatever matters that need to be addressed, I'm hoping that they are addressed in a timely manner.
The industrial action was set to last 2 days, and Boleg anticipates a return to business as usual Wednesday. She is encouraging parents to send their children to school so learning can resume. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, the Public Hospitals Authority releasing a statement tonight that an injunction has been issued by Honorable Justice Darren Ellis. This legal order requires all employees associated with the respective unions to return to work for the next scheduled shift. According to the statement, this injunction is vital for maintaining the continuity of care and services within our public hospitals. The authority also adding that it values the hard work and dedication of all healthcare workers and remains committed to ensuring a safe and productive work environment for everyone. Stay tuned to the Bahamas Tonight for more on this story. Well, a nationwide strike has caused disruptions in schools across the northern Bahamas, but Abaco and the Berry Islands have seen minimal impact. Local officials assure that schools are running smoothly with efforts in place to keep education on track.
It is the second day of a nationwide strike that has disrupted some government functions across the country, including some public schools throughout the northern Bahamas. But in the Abaco district, the situation remains calm with minimal disruption reported.
Yesterday, we had maybe about 4 or 5 absent from duty. It didn't affect the instruction in the classroom. And today, we have about 2 absent.
While there were more administrators absent than teachers, Abaco District Superintendent Chester Cooper says schools like Patrick J. Bethel and Central Abaco Primary saw some of their administrative staff call out.
For administrators, we had basically 2 large schools in Marsh Harbor. The admin teams of those schools call out, with the exception of 1 administrator at the high school. Today, the same thing applies. Yeah, those same persons who called out yesterday, they also called out today.
The action, orchestrated by Trade Union Congress President Obie Ferguson, was initiated to protest the Davis administration's alleged failure to honor several key agreements outlined in a memorandum of understanding. Ferguson's call to action has sent shockwaves across the nation, but Cooper says Abaco's education staff quickly sprang into action.
We had our regular instructional time. Teachers who were absent, those classes were covered by other persons. But of course, to fill that void, I would have dispatched my office staff to fill the void.
And over in the Berry Islands, Family Island Administrator Kenwood Cartwright says everything is running smoothly there.
All is well there on the Berry Islands, as far as I know. The teachers are there, the students are there. In fact, we had our time capsule burying ceremony this morning where school students and teachers took part in it.
And with the national examinations approaching, officials say the goal is to ensure students' education continues with as little disruption as possible.
It's definitely an issue when you find that, this kind of thing happens where, kids losing time for, reasons that goes beyond them.
We understand what the teachers are fighting for as well. I have my mother, my sisters who are teachers, many aunts that are teachers, so we understand the fight. But we also understand the need for continued learning.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
In other news, former Prime Minister of the Right Honorable Perry Christie recently highlighted the success of major development projects on Grand Bahama during a speech to Rotarians. Christie reflecting on how many of these initiatives now coming to fruition were originally launched under the Progressive Liberal Party government during his tenure. He expressed confidence that the current administration is on the course to restore Grand Bahama to its former glory, urging all residents to actively engage in efforts to build a brighter future for the island. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
Former Prime Minister of the Right Honorable Perry Christie says that the island of Grand Bahama is making great progress following years of economic challenges. While highlighting the significance of the establishment of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, he also touted the success of projects started under his administration.
As Prime Minister, all the things that happened, like Six Senses, Carnival Port, happened in my time. It just takes long to develop.
Christie noted that during 2 of his terms as Prime Minister, he closely examined the economy and observed that the development of the island had not yet reached the desired level. Therefore, he came up with an idea to bring over one of the world's largest consulting groups, the McKinsey Group, to advise the government on what to do.
When they reported, I laid the report in Parliament, made it public down here to those who would like to see it. And then I appointed a committee chaired by a former minister in my government, Dr. Marcus Bethel, and I wanted to take the politics out of it.
Continuing his discussion on the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, he explained that there is currently no active model being implemented in Grand Bahama. He further emphasized that Grand Bahama is a unique island, one that requires special attention from any government.
I decided that when agreements were made by Wallace Groves and they had a defined time for it, and we kept on extending it, that it was time for us to look very carefully at what was happening.
Regarding the origins of developments, the former national leader noted that many major projects that have emerged in Grand Bahama began under the Progressive Liberal Party. Unfortunately, he explained these developments took longer to come to fruition than anticipated.
When a prime minister says, we have to do this together, I can't do it. My government can't do it by itself. We have to do it together. It necessarily means that you have to take advantage of an invitation to help define the future of Grand Bahama.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
We turn now to a ZNS exclusive. On Monday, reports came in of a police investigating a shooting incident that took place near Paradise Cove. An adult male was walking along the beach when an unknown gunman emerged from nearby bushes and opened fire. Today, videos released by the victim went viral on social media, and we had the chance to hear his side of the ordeal. Shane Stubbs has more on this report.
I'm just in pain and I can't move.
We're sending some assistance, okay? Do you know who shot you?
Just get here, please. I'm not done move. So get here, please.
Yes, and our ambulance and police is en route to you.
It was a scary moment for a man left fighting for his life after sustaining 2 gunshot wounds, one to the body and one to the head. The incident taking place nearby a popular business establishment in West Grand Bahama. The victim, a simple man who was filming a survival project, is just happy to be alive.
To basically gather information of what type of plants there are that burn well, which ones don't burn well, which ones would be poisonous, you know, to gather information basically, to then also give that knowledge on to anybody who might be in that situation or wants to have fun camping.
Known by the name Dante Double, the victim shares that his mornings would include morning devotion on the beach around 5:30 a.m. and then he would continue to carry out his work on the project. But this particular morning, he felt something different in the atmosphere. That's when his suspicious feeling became a daunting reality.
When I walked, he was behind a bush, and he was very technical with it. He was professional with it, I must say. You know, I did not see him till I was close enough, and he made that step and that shot.
Dante says the first shot brought him to the floor, followed by a close-range shot to the back of his head. Miraculously, the bullet never entered his skull, but instead grazed across the skin. However, in that moment, he could only hold on for dear life as he phoned for emergency.
Hello? Tell them hurry up, please, now.
Yes,
And I just played dead and held my breath. And then after, I guess, close to a minute maybe, like 40 seconds, 45 seconds, I then called the police to come. It took them half an hour to get there.
Frustrated with the wait time and how he was allegedly treated by emergency personnel, Dante says he's been grateful all his life, but even in the face of death, he stood resolute in his belief that he would not die.
Gratus. That's the way we live, that's the way we walk. But I'm not grateful to be alive because I knew I wasn't going to die.
Now, according to Dante, the incident followed a disagreement he had with someone in the area a day or two prior to the shooting. However, he could not make out who his assailant was. Since that time, police have taken 2 males into custody for questioning, and the investigation continues. From the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Police officials reporting the apparent drowning of a tourist in waters between Bimini, in waters between Bimini and the Berry Islands. As the story goes, Defense Force officers responded to a stress call around 2:30 p.m. Monday near Mackey Shoal. A 28-year-old man found adrift and in distress near a jet ski was rescued. Another unresponsive man was also recovered Both men, visitors, were taken to a clinic in the Berry Islands. According to reports, the duo left Nassau on a jet ski this past Saturday for a fishing trip in Bimini. The jet ski reportedly took on water near Andros, forcing the two to use it as a raft. Again, there were no visible signs of foul play. An autopsy will determine the exact cause of death.
And still to come.
The Ministry of Grand Bahama hosting a majority rule exhibition. That story, sports, and more when we return.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this month, sis.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Tech Masters Freeport, your go-to for electronics, IT services, and repairs. Visit Sunset Commercial Plaza or call 351-5283 today. Tech Masters, we've mastered IT.
Welcome to the new era of home improvement. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. Discover our latest products and services designed to transform your space. From innovative designs to cutting-edge technology, we've got it all. Your dream space is just a call away. Our team is here and ready to serve you, making your experience better than ever. Visit us today on Yellow Pine Street and see why Third Dimension is your go-to for all things home improvement.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. This past Friday, Bahamians throughout the country celebrated the Majority Rule holiday. Here in Grand Bahama, the Ministry for Grand Bahama hosting a Majority Rule exhibit to share the story of what our Majority Rule foot soldiers had to endure in the race to freedom. The Minister for Grand Bahama says that it is important for Bahamians to learn the history of the Bahamas.
To tell the story of Majority Rule, to tell the work of the foot soldiers on Grand Bahama Island who were involved in us achieving Majority Rule. And we wanted the kids to learn more about it, so we hope to extend this so that it gets into the school. School kids can actually come and visit the exhibit.
The exhibit will be moved to the Harold de Gregory building to accommodate students and to allow them to learn more about Bahamian history.
We're going to move it to the Harold de Gregory building where students will be able to visit it as well, because we want them to see more of it. We did have it last year, but I think so many of the students were not able to participate.
Well, continuing their annual tradition, the St. John Canoe is hosting their Fun Day for the young children in the West End community as a token of appreciation for their consistent support over the past several years. The 16-year endeavor utilizing the Old Bahama Bay Resort, consisting of freshly grilled burgers, a bouncing castle along with face painting, and some interactive activities. Promotion and Marketing Director for the Sting, Gary Super Johnson, says the event is one many in the West End community continue to look forward to.
As you can see, we have a lot of adults here now, and everybody who comes and chips in, you know, and get it well. And now we are Old Bahama Bay. We'd like to thank Mr. Culmer, who has made it possible for us to be at this venue for the last 3 years. You know, we just like to do something for all the kids in the community, just, you know, show our appreciation to West End.
Johnson adds the event means a lot for not only him, but the entire group to continue its appearance, putting in loads of work to make a lasting impression on the hearts of the neighbors around him.
We don't have any major sponsor, so we have to do fundraisers in order to keep ourselves on the road, keep ourselves relevant. It's important because, as you can see, the kids were here, and everybody expect every year that when this time come around, Sting is going to be doing this party. And if you don't do it for 1 year, you know, it'll just be a big disappointment for us and the community of West End. So, you know, we look forward to doing it, and for us, it's fun.
Well, that's a look at stories making news. Jay Philippe, what's happening in sports?
Coming up in sports, flag football, also night league basketball. Miko, I played last night, man. I'm sore and I'm tired, man.
I don't play no more. So. But that's coming up next. Your check on weather is up first.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Foresight IT Professionals is your resource for IT products and services, offering products ranging from computers, point of sale, and CCTV systems. Services ranging from network setup, remote technical support, computer repair, and more. Visit number 11 Four-Way Cooperative Plaza. Call 602-0946 or WhatsApp 813-3355. Foresight IT Professionals, your IT products and services resource.
Shape Your Crepe has so much to offer. From delicious, savory, and sweet crepes, coffee drinks and bubble teas, to rich, creamy milkshakes, and so much more. We are located on West Mall Drive, Freeport, Grand Bahama, and coming soon to Plaza del Sol, Prince Charles Drive, Nassau, Bahamas. Shape Your Crepe, handcrafted crepes and more. Call us at 68-SHAPE.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am ready.
I am ready. I am ready. Ready or not, it's here. That's right, the biggest gospel show with me, Uncle T Baby Boy, on 8:10 a.m. That's right, interviews, greatest songs, praise and worship. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world and bring the world to the Bahamas.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. First in sports, the Rising Stars Invitational Softball Tournament wrapped up on the weekend on Grand Bahama with Girls Like Diamond winning the 12U title, while Rising Stars won the 16U championship. The Minister of Youth, Sport and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, was in attendance for the tournament and was very pleased with what he saw from the players, coaches, and organizers.
Let me congratulate Yvonne Lockhart, Narissa Lockhart, and Trudy for their vision and an inspiration and understanding the need for establishing a program like the Rising Star to train and develop young ladies between the age of 6 and 18 in the game of softball. And Greg Christie, who this tournament is named after, was one of the consultants who saw the vision and joined in with them and ensured that something like this came to fruition, and that's why this tournament is named after him. And so over the years, we have seen the development of softball with young ladies in Grand Bahama, and so a tournament like this is definitely needed. And, you know, it inspires our young ladies to be able to learn the skill set of softball.
Next in sports, scores from the Grand Bahama Basketball Association Men's Basketball League in Game 1, 2-4-2 lead held on to beat Connacht Shipping 85-83. Jaden Mader led the team with 22 points in the win. Deshaun Wildgoose scored a game-high 38 points in the loss. In Game 2, 8 Mile Rock Legends got the W against the Police Enforcers 79-66, led by Keno Russell with 20 points. Travis Wildgoose had 23 points in the loss for the Police. Also in sports, results from Week 6 of the Air 8-Out 5-on-5 Flag Football League. Team Goldheart destroyed the Arsonists 46-6 in the opening match. Team Switcher edged out off the bench 14-13 in a very closely contested game. In Game 3, Self-Made Bulldogs beat the Knights 26-21, and the feature game had no mercy, winning against the Wolves. The final score on that one was 28-27. And that's your check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Get in, get out, equip yourself for the future. Pine Yard Technical Center is preparing the next generation for tomorrow. Sign up today for long-term or short-term classes. Strike a spark today, ignite a flame tomorrow. Torch handling, fire watch, plate and pipe welding. Sign up today.
Number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
That's going to do it for us here in the north. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, striking employees ordered back to work, and the courts said so. And this is unions today up to the ante with increased staff call-outs. Also, a meetup between the Prime Minister and the RBPF's new leadership team as the government seeks to get tougher on crime. And the expected impact of VAT's pending reduction on uncooked food through the eyes of a non-profit organization. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. A promise delivered, but at whose expense? Day 2 of the Trade Union Congress's sick out, cutting deep for operations at several of the country's health facilities. So much so, those actions prompting the Attorney General to file an interim injunction, forcing employees to return to work immediately. Our Lloyd Allen joins us live. Well, we'll come back to our Lloyd Allen, who is standing by at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Those industrial woes that we're dealing with also had the Labor Minister talking. Joining us in studio is our Altavis Munnings.
Mukashla, so good to see you. Thank you so much. But I want to say that Labor Minister, the Honorable Pia Glover-Roll, admits all unions have the right to strike. In fact, during the Davis administration's 3 years in office, she noted that some 8 strike certificates were signed and that she approved. But that's not the primary concern. Minister Glover-Roll disclosed on Monday, while she appeared on the Rundown with Clint Watson right here on the ZNS network, that she holds quarterly meetings with all unions. And they set the agenda for those meetings in order for her to hear their concerns.
When you push away from the table, that takes us to a place of stalemate.
This is why Labor Minister Glover-Roll is perplexed about the Trade Union Congress's protest this week after a successful meeting with the organization in December. While she knows these legacy union issues won't be solved overnight, the Labor Minister is of the view that it's important to fix the system now to avoid these problems from happening again.
I feel that the closer we get to the finish line, the obstacles will be thrown in the way. We have a memorandum of understanding that is 96% complete. We have a labor agenda that can be checked off in our blueprint for change that is almost complete. We have 53 agreements signed, and they don't like when I say that, but let me qualify that. 53 agreements signed, with the majority of them expiring in July of this year, which means they've been honored. which means now we're going to renegotiate, which means that their members, their workers, who are most important, have benefited. I'm not discouraged. The work continues because the work isn't for the unions. The work is for the workers of the country, and that is who I'm responsible for.
Minister Glover Roll, though, has to contend with clearing the public service backlog and managing a 21st century workforce with antiquated rules.
In December, recently regularized 700 52-week workers.
Wow.
That's everybody that was on the program historically that was just in limbo, sitting on the program, a 52-week worker who's been on the program for 12 years.
12 years.
Okay. But now they've all been regularized. Those who have not already received their letters during the holidays should be receiving their letters within the coming weeks because we have distributed the letters to their various ministries.
And Macushla Minister Glover Roll is reiterating and stressing that these legacy issues can't be resolved overnight. And getting back to the TUC's protest, she says she's grateful that contingency plans were in place to ensure that no essential services endured a significant interruption, but she's committed to ensuring that the union's issues are addressed on all levels.
Well, thanks, Alto. And speak of interruption, we go now to our Lloyd Allen, who is standing by at the Princess Margaret Hospital, where an urgent press conference was held earlier today. Lloyd?
Well, Makusha, the past 48 hours creating havoc for public hospital authority officials as they've been impacted by actions brought on by the Trade Union Congress. That's starting on Monday. Now, you may recall that we reported about 90% of junior physicians called in sick yesterday. Today, that number increasing to about 98%. But some good news on the way, according to Managing Director Albernette Roll, who confirmed that an injunction brought on by the Attorney General's office now requiring all related union members back to work. This, of course, bringing relief to an already strained situation.
As well as it relates to the CPSA, which is the senior set of physicians, it was around 60% the entire time. We saw a tad increase in that nursing population, but generally they came. There were a few areas that had significant impact, in particular the emergency room, and one could imagine why, because of the impact of the physicians in what we call the acute care facility, as well as the public health facility, or what we call the clinics. The impact was there, and so we had persons coming to the hospital.
Rose says in response, auxiliary resources were engaged.
We were able to bring physicians inside the hospital so that we were able to divide the levels of care in the emergency room.
Now, as it relates to grievances, Roll today disclosed that a conversation was held earlier with senior physicians, a meeting described as strong-willed.
But I have a clear understanding of some of the concerns, some of them that I deem to be miscommunications. I did advise them that there were several steps that I would take. One, I would have a communication with my chairman, who was responsible for the PHA. I would also have a discussion with the minister, and I would lay over those levels of concern.
The PHA managing director stressed, though, that all contracts outside the financial elements of the industrial agreement have been struck. So until a deal is met, patient care remains the order of the day. Health Minister, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, agrees and hopes services are restored.
The Supreme Court ordered that an injunction restraining the employees with the Department of Public Health, the Ministry of Health, as well as the Public Hospitals Authority, from being a part of any strike vote or any industrial action, and has ordered the members who are employed with the PHA, the Ministry of Health, the Department of Public Health, back to work and to return to work as rostered by the schedule.
Now, Makusha, that injunction impacting not just PHA affiliates, but also air traffic controller union members. And according to the injunction, those who refuse to comply may face imprisonment or jail time. Reporting here from the Princess Margaret Hospital for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen. Makushla?
Well, thanks, Lloyd. Still on Labor News, ZNS News receiving photos from a number of customs posts that showed officers absent due to the Trade Union Congress's industrial action. But Customs Comptroller Ralph Munro is tonight refuting those claims. In fact, he denied any significant impact was made to on customs operations. Now, Monroe telling our news team only 13 Grand Bahama customs officers called in yesterday, with the majority of staff on duty today. Abaco customs staff were in full force over the past 2 days, completing a very busy workload. And here in the capital, 37 out of the 44 officers at Arawak Key reported to work. Those not on duty reportedly had valid reasons to be off, the comptroller adding that he personally visited the Lyndon Pending International Airport on Monday and noticed no disruptions. Now, following the TUC's attempt to organize a mass sick-out, National Congress of Trade Unions of the Bahamas Secretary General Daniel Thompson reasons that every union has its demands, but blames bureaucracy for railroading true progress. Thompson says social dialogue is the way forward for negotiations, but fears timing is out of sync between governments and unions, resulting in an MOU backlog.
These were issues that transcended several administrations. And what is happening now, the government is finally trying to address these old age issues. And you know how the saying goes, once you address one issue, it exposes a new level. So what we're doing, I think, is entering into a secondary level of issues. So persons are being represented. And these are issues such as overtime pay, and that I'm hearing people talking about. Those are management, administrative things that can be handled at the organizational level.
Well, tonight we also have the NCTUB's first Vice President, Sherry Benjamin, speaking on Cable Bahamas and Parks and Beaches. Labor Minister, the Honorable Pia Glover commits to a resolution in the case of both matters.
I've been complicit, and I believe that this government is also in the same state, because we've not been able to. This is my second term, and I've been fighting from day one to get to the table with Cable Bahamas, and they have still been ducking and dodging. And we have sent in recognition for the workers at beaches and parks, and that has been from last year, March. We've actually sent in March, and we sent in July, and the chairman has not responded to us yet.
Well, here's what the Labor Minister had to say.
The matter of the BCPOU, who are seeking recognition with Cable Bahamas and also with the Beaches and Parks Authority. Regarding Cable Bahamas, it is our decision that they will have to go to poll to determine that they do have the 50+1 that they stated that is needed for them to gain representation. However, with Beaches and Parks, this is a new request that has been ratcheted up to the Minister of Works, who is reviewing. It just got to him over the past few weeks, right before the holidays, and he's assured me that he will be reviewing the matter and, of course, seeking to have a meeting with the BCPOU executives.
Coming up, police probe apparent family island drownings. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Crunch your KFC craving with a KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Get a piece of our golden fried chicken, crispy fries, cheesy mashed potatoes, 3 juicy all-white meat nuggets, a buttery biscuit, a sweet dessert biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda, all for just $9.95. Now that's a deal. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger-licking good.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
You guys had anything to eat as yet? Y'all know Christmas just gone and the rock.
All right, but y'all let me working all day, but what we gonna eat?
If we was by the mall, we could go by Wendy's and get the Dave special for $5.
Yeah, but you do know that the Dave's deal is now actually nationwide, right?
Wait, let's go. Cable Beach right there.
Let's go.
All right.
The news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a drone shot of the Margaritaville Beach Resort nestled in a prime spot close to Nassau's attractions. Welcome back. The newly minted top brass of the Royal Bahamas Police Force recently getting a one-on-one with the Prime Minister, his deputy, and National Security Minister. Those talks centering on getting a better understanding of what additional resources the RBPF needs to more aggressively fight violent crime, and that those efforts are sharp, focused, and decisive. And Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis sees dismantling gangs as key.
Gangs are a cancer on our communities, preying on the vulnerable, fostering fear, and fueling violence. We will not tolerate their existence, and each of you should commit yourselves not to tolerate this existence. So using the full strength of the anti-gang legislation, I expect a hard crackdown on these criminal networks. Our mission is not only to disrupt their operations, but to dismantle them entirely. We will root out gang leaders. We will dismantle their financial networks and ensure those responsible face the full force of the law.
The Prime Minister acknowledges that another aspect of this is breaking the cycle of gang recruitment.
I need this addressed not only through enforcement, but by strengthening the urban renewal programs, engaging in communities, and creating opportunities that give our youth a reason to turn away from crime. And of course, the school policing is a huge and important initiative in this regard. To me, prevention is just as important as detection and prosecution.
The Prime Minister's promised to provide the RBPF with additional intelligence devices in short order. Well, a day at the beach turns tragic for two men on the Family Islands. The first incident playing out after 11 a.m. yesterday on Exuma. Police reporting that a 34-year-old man was found unresponsive floating in waters near Jolly Hall Beach. He was retrieved and examined by a doctor who pronounced him dead. Authorities say there were no visible signs of foul play. Nearly 3 hours later, police reporting the apparent drowning of a tourist in waters between Bimini and the Berry Islands. As the story goes, Defense Force officers responded to a distress call around 2:30 p.m. Monday near Mackey Shoal. A 28-year-old man found adrift and in distress near a jet ski was rescued. Now, another unresponsive man was also recovered. Both men, visitors, were taken to a clinic in the Berry Islands. The backstory is that the duo left Nassau on a jet ski this past Saturday for a fishing trip in Bimini. The jet ski reportedly took on water near Andros, forcing the two to use it as a raft. Again, there were no visible signs of foul play as in the first case. An autopsy will determine the exact cause of death. Well, 18 people arrested for various immigration-related offenses, be it illegal entry, overstaying, or outstanding document fee payments, making up the group 16 Haitians, 1 Zimbabwean, and a Jamaican. They've all since been repatriated. Immigration officials also reporting that between January 1st and 13th, 66 foreigners, that's 27 Haitians, 25 Cubans, 6 Dominicans, 2 Indians, and 1 Honduran, Russian, Jamaican, American, Ghanaian, and Ecuadorian have been sent back home. Further, during the same period, 20 passengers were denied entry at the Lyndon Pinley International Airport. Well, in other news, the new environmental planning and protection spot fines regulations now in effect. Officials have their own ticket books and can issue fines on the spot for environmental infractions. Starting any construction project without a certificate of environmental clearance could set you back $10,000. These fines extend to protected areas, wildlife, pollution, plastics, styrofoam, and more. Obstructing these officers when they are issuing fines could cost you $5,000. Environment Minister, the Honorable Von P. Miller, says the fines were necessary considering the belligerence of residents when officials attempted to carry out orders.
Whoever the person was actually assaulted the officer because they were operating illegally. They were warned repeatedly and actually assaulted the officer. And that's the case that's pending as we speak. So we really want to serve notice that we have a zero tolerance going forward, and we intend to levy fines, and we intend to take it to the maximum extent of the law.
The government recently announcing a 5 percentage point reduction in value-added tax on non-cooked foods purchased in food stores in hopes of relieving residents from hardships created through the still very high cost of living. This high cost has also posed a challenge for nonprofit organizations tasked with providing assistance to those in need and answering the call when disasters hit home. President of the Bahamas Red Cross, Edison Sumner, is cautiously optimistic that this reduction will help the organization reduce its purchasing cost and provide even more help to those in need. Though he hastens to add, it's still too early to tell.
The reduction in the VAT, I think it's too early to see because that doesn't set in until April. So we now have to do an assessment to find out, based on our historic purchasing of supplies from whether it's food stores or wholesalers, we've now got to make some projections to see, well, once this reduction sets in, what is that going to mean for us? What is going to be the net effect or impact on our ability to purchase? I'm hopeful that it will cause us to be able to purchase a little more.
While some may argue that this proposed cut is minimal at best, Sumner says its impact on the organization could be significant and allow it to do a lot more for those in need. He points out that paying less for food could provide the Red Cross with more resources to purchase materials and other supplies it needs to carry out its work.
There are other things we'd like to see the government do, of course, in helping to further reduce the cost of living in the country. But I think if we are moving from a 10% VAT rate to a 5% VAT rate on products being sold in the food stores, I think that could have a very positive impact on the pockets of the average consumer over time. But on larger organizations like ourselves, it will have an even greater impact because we spend a lot more money on a regular basis buying food supplies to support our welfare program, our Meals on Meals program, right? So that 5-point drop and reducing it 5%, I think will have a positive impact on our bottom line and hopefully will give us better buying power.
Well, stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Full Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At Shell, we say refresh, refuel, rejoice. This Christmas, every $20 fuel up earns you a ticket to over $25,000 in joyful giveaways. Refresh your holiday mood with lavish hotel vouchers, exclusive spa treatments, and high-end shopping vouchers. Fuel up and submit your receipt by WhatsApp to 422-0271 for a chance to win with Shell. Drive to Shell. Fuel up and enter to win your share of $25,000 in giveaways for a December to remember. Terms and conditions apply.
It's no secret, starting a business isn't easy. It takes a lot of work, grind, and determination, a combination that quite often result in success. In tonight's Business Beat, Corville Pyfrom highlights one young starter up who is showing us how it's done.
It's pretty safe to say that young businessman Tristan Hanna is on the move. Just a year ago after completing university, this now 23-year-old took his passion for security, safety, and innovation and started his own business, providing affordable solar-efficient security system products.
So I had to find a way to mash those three together. And the latter part of that was what we just talked about, innovation. That's solar. That's fairly new, right? Security's been here for a little while, yes. So that catered to my needs to protecting people. So when I put the two together, that's when SafePoint was created.
SafePoint. That's the name of Tristan's business, which began in his vehicle when he would go around making deliveries and installations. Just recently, Tristan was able to move his store and products into this Robinson Road location.
People love it here when they come inside. They love the environment. Normally there's music playing. They find it a place where they can get all their security needs and solar needs in one place.
A month in, and the feedback, he says, has been positive.
I found out that solar was a great way to save money, and it's also a great way to sustain your environment as well. So it's great for the environment and the community.
But Tristan isn't only trying to run a business, he's trying to change mindsets and get more people to see how useful and cost-effective the move to solar really is.
Solar, it's like a product, but it has its mini generator right on the side of it. So obviously this is practically a regular light, yes, but there is that little generator right on the side of it. Like there's no gasoline needed, there's nothing needed but the sun. And as we know, in the Bahamas, the sun is mostly around, right? So charging your lights is never an issue, or charging your solar products is never an issue.
His advice, meanwhile, to others embarking on a similar journey, believe in God, find your goals, and trust the process. Tristan, who recently became a recipient of the Small Business Development Center's Men in Business Initiative grant, has plans for taking SafePoint into becoming the region's premier safety and security solutions stop. On the Business Beat, I'm Corville Pyfrom.
Well, we now check in with LaDawn and Desmond for a sneak peek of Access Now. Guys, what's up?
Well, Makushla, guess what? The Red Cross Ball is coming up, and I think Desmond is excited. I know you're going to be excited. I'm excited because I want to know who's the headliner.
We're just going to find that out, but I look forward to it every year. Good food, good people, a worthy cause.
Yes. Desmond, we can go together. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight is back after the break.
Chicken lovers, listen up. Popeyes is serving it up for you. Get 5 pieces of juicy, hand-battered, bone-in chicken for just $10. That's right, 5 pieces of Louisiana-style flavor, fried to golden, crispy perfection for only $10. But don't wait, this deal won't last forever. Head to your nearest Popeyes today and grab your 5-piece for just $10. Popeyes, where the chicken's always worth the hype. Available for a limited time only.
Health is the greatest gift. That's
That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Much has been said about downtown Nassau. Some have long argued it's dirty, a ghost town after hours. But despite the naysayers, it's an established destination and gem to so many others. And its placement on Caribbean Journal's annual list of 25 best Caribbean destinations to visit this year proves it. The publication notes the growing interest in cultural immersion, musical experiences, wellness retreats, and the enduring appeal of the region's natural beauty, making the Bahamas a shoo-in, some may say. While Antigua and Barbuda lands the coveted top spot, hot to trot behind it is Exuma. Downtown Nassau is listed 4th, Cape Santa Maria and Long Island 9th, Green Turtle Key and the Abaco's 10th, and Cape Eleuthera 22nd. Well, that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.